how soon is Cam Newton signing an extension? We're going to be talking about comeback player of the year. We're going to talk about them winning the division and being meaningful competition in the AFC. I love what they're doing. They're going to be harder and harder to defend. I love the direct runs that Josh McDaniels, the Patriot offensive coordinator, schemed up yesterday. I was very fortunate in my career. I've worked for Coach Parcells, Coach Belichick. I've worked with Rex Ryan, Eric Mangini. All of those guys would say the same thing. When the quarterback can make plays with his feet, it puts so much pressure on the defense. And I think we just saw the tip of the iceberg. We'll get more into the RPOs. We'll get more into screens outside the numbers. They're going to be really hard to defend. And there's only 3 things we have to worry about with Cam Newton, guys. That's health, health, and health. But if he starts 16 games, write this down, they will win the AFC East. They'll get a bye. They're going to be hard to beat. And I think it's going to be a compelling story of the season is how Tom Brady handed the torch to Cam Newton. New England was brilliant. They didn't give up a single draft choice. And they very well may have their next quarterback for the next 10 years.
It's amazing to think at first it was just a marriage of convenience. Both the sides needed each other. The Pats needed Newton, Newton needed a place, and now Mike is saying it could turn into one of the great signings the Pats have made under Bill Belichick. That's how fast it goes. That's our ESPN NFL front office insider Mike Tannenbaum. You can see him on Get Up, 8 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. And speaking of Get Up, Mike Greenberg will join us at 7 a.m. Mike, thank you very much. So the Pats go for 217 yards on the ground. Fellas, Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. Quickly, New England next up. We'll see just what a test Cam is in for at Seattle. Sunday night football. Ooh. New England at Seattle in week 2. Speaking of primetime, we got 2 tonight. Giants, Steelers, and then the Titans and the Broncos. But Mike kind of said it, tongue planted firmly in cheek. Priority 1, 2, and 3 is the same thing, Key, his health.
It is, and we all know that based on last year, him not playing, or the year before when he got hurt in 2018 when he was having somewhat of an MVP-type season. When you look at, though, Josh McDaniels as well as Bill Belichick, they put a game plan together that was efficient. They allowed Cam Newton to be Cam Newton. He threw the ball short and underneath. Edelman still got his touches. I think when you look at Julian Edelman, he had 5 for 57. That's an Edelman-type game. Very efficient. Then when you look at the young kid, N'Keal Harry, he contributed on an offensive side, catching 5 balls. But then Cam Newton did what he was supposed to do, 15 rushes, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And that is what you get from him. He didn't turn the football over. You heard a lot of people say, oh, he's going to turn the ball over. They got to protect it. They did exactly what they're supposed to do from an offensive staff. Put him in a position in a game plan to take advantage of Miami's secondary, take advantage of Miami's linebacking core. They know Miami's roster better than Miami knows it. So they put a game plan together, and if you know anything about football or anything about the New England Patriots, what you saw against the Miami Dolphins, you will not see against the Seattle Seahawks. It'll be a totally different game plan. It'll still be efficient. It'll still be productive, but it won't look the same. Week to week, they tend to change their offensive game plan. Even with Tom Brady, week to week, the New England Patriots change their game plan. So you certainly know that they're going to change it with Cam Newton going to Seattle.
It's just funny to me how the narrative can change so quickly for a team. So last year, all I heard the entire season was Tom Brady has no weapons. Look what he has to work with an offensive end. And then you see Cam operate in this new strategy, obviously, because he can move the ball on the ground with his feet. 15 rushing attempts, 75 yards, his ability to create so much versatility in their offensive scheme. And now we're not having a narrative of, well, Cam doesn't have any weapons. It's just a different – like that, the narrative changes.
Well, it's really not that the narrative changed. What happens is this offense that you saw, it's portable. They'll be able to travel with this offense. As the weather changes and they get into that New England kind of cold and they travel to some of these cold weather cities – they'll be able to run the football with Cam, with the running backs, and they'll be able to dink and dunk underneath. They don't have to stretch the football vertically. You don't have that. You didn't have that with Brady. Mm-hmm. It was pass the ball or else, and that was pretty much it. Now they got a running game that's going to be probably rivaling what Baltimore has. I mean, watch what I tell you. We're going to be talking about New England's running game, rushing attack on the same line as Baltimore's rushing attack.
Now, is there any concern with Cam and the way he gets out of the pocket with how he can move? Now, I know he weighs 245 pounds, and that's
you don't want to hit that, though.
You don't want to hit that. But I'm just saying, though, doesn't that increase your chances of a guy who has had injuries, putting himself in more positions to be injury prone?
That's what people would say, right? Cam Newton's never been injured in his entire career based on running the football. all his injuries have been within the pocket. Little things, people hitting his legs in the pocket, his shoulder getting hit. It wasn't that he sought out or seek out a defender and go attack him and all of a sudden he bruises his shoulder. That's not how he's getting hurt. He's getting hurt inside the pocket. But the first thing people say is, oh, he's a running quarterback, he's going to get hurt. He's been running his entire life.
No, I hear you. It's just when I watch Lamar Jackson run, Lamar Jackson will slide before he gets hit.
Different body
I understand,
different
but
mentality.
that has to increase your percentage chance
does.
of getting hurt when you decide to put your helmet down and kind of crack through people and truck them over.
A running back, a wide receiver, anybody that touches the football, when you're out in space, it increases that injury by far. But the only difference is you're dealing with a quarterback who's a giant. You're not dealing. This isn't Drew Brees we talking about.
Oh, I hear you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're talking
Body
about
types are different.
They turning him down more so than anything. Isn't it so funny though? Look at that. See, they really don't want to hit him. They trying to get out of the way. He doesn't want to get up off the ground to go hit Cam. I mean, that thing coming at you is ridiculous. Like, yeah, I don't really want to hit him. I'm gonna slow down. That's how that looked. And imagine what it looks like coming at you. You played against dudes like LeBron James. You know what that looked like coming through the cup. That's a large man. You're getting out the way.
It's called Matador defense.
And so
Olay.
for Cam, he's just got to stay healthy. Whatever it is, no little cracks in here, no little bruises there, to get rid of that narrative that he's always hurt, he's injury prone. Just get rid of that. And like Mike T, almost called him Coach T, like Mike Tannenbaum just said, that conversation is going to come up. Extension, oh my God, MVP. It's going to start to come up maybe toward the middle of the year when they're about 7-1, 8-0. People are going to start to say, oh, okay, because it's not going to be the same offense. He's not going to throw for 4,500 yards and 50 touchdowns with this style that they're playing, and they don't want to do it that way. They want to play defense like they did. What happened to the conversation about their defense? Remember, all these guys are defense.
Fair point.
Man, they turned out yesterday. Now, you could say, oh, it's the Miami Dolphins. So what? They showed up and they turned out. In fact, isn't it funny now, and you guys would know this, Cam Newton goes to New England and he gets a roughing the passer call. Isn't that amazing?
After being on the receiving end of so many.
Oh, man, that's amazing. He goes to New England, he gets a roughing the passer call.
And then I'll say vice versa for the Dolphins. I mean, I think we're going to see Tua quicker than what we think. I mean, think about their next couple of games. You got versus the Bills and their defense, the way they played at Jags. They got to win. And, I mean, Seahawks, 49ers. I think we're going to be seeing Tua pretty soon.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't put Tua in right now because
I mean, second half of the season.
It's not a very good football team, and I certainly wouldn't want to put him out there in harm's way. I mean, he could sit tight, wait, rest it up. This is a burn season for the Miami Dolphins anyway, so you might as well just burn it up.
I thought they were the new dynasty.
Say, man, I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say you. I'm just scratching my head.
I didn't say it.
I'm just scratching my head.
Some people say things just for shock. That's all.
To a 5th overall pick. And remember, after the dislocated hip, that grotesque dislocated hip against Alabama, we haven't seen him really take part in any football because remember, there was no OTAs, no mini camps, no preseason. So when he gets out there for real, it's going to be a long time for him before he's actually seen 11 on 11.
Just playing midseason when they play the Jets back to back. There you go.
I'm happy for Cam, though. I really am because there was so much negativity with him in the offseason going, how the Carolina Panthers treated him, late signing. I think he was the last free agent quarterback to be signed.
Just keep winning if you're wearing canary suits.
And at
just
the
keep
end,
winning.
Is he going to mesh with Bill Belichick? What's going to happen in the Foxborough, the Boston area? How people going to treat him? I'm happy for him. I'm glad he was acting the way he was acting.
Key, as you told me multiple times yesterday on the text chain, it's one game. It's one game.
I understand that, but it's encouraging to see him play the way he played yesterday. It's encouraging. That's all.
And for the Pats, it's really encouraging because the deal was 1 year. It was incentive laden. Let's see what he's got. That gives Newton all the motivation to go out there, ball out, and obviously, if he performs to the level that you think he will, certainly the Pats will take care of him.
Yeah.
We'll also mention the seriousness of the game, taking on the team that essentially kind of ruined their season a year ago. Remember the final regular season game last year, Miami, New England, Miami going in, winning, Flores, coaching under Belichick. Remember that loss by New England
Dropped them
into the wild card round for the first time in a decade. That gave the Chiefs the number 2 seed, and that was able to propel them to the Super Bowl. So just to kind of think of how things have come full circle from the last time the Dolphins and Pats played to yesterday's game. So much has changed in the NFL.
Yeah, Brady couldn't beat them.
and that was the other thing, the extrication of Tom Brady as well. You guys are laughing. There actually was a moment of levity after the game yesterday. Sometimes it's a little trepidation when you walk into the Bill Belichick post-game press conference, or I guess the Zoom post-game press conference. You have to see him in person anymore. After the game, he was asked this question with a rather quick response.
Bill, you are obviously someone who has seen a lot of football in your day, been involved in a lot of games. What was the atmosphere like in the stadium without fans there? Can you compare it to anything else that you've experienced in your football life?
Practice.
15-second question, 1-second answer. But Key, you were kind of saying while Jay and I are laughing, he's right on target with that.
No, it is practice. It just, as much as we want it to be like a game with fans, it feels like a scrimmage in practice when you're watching it. I mean, maybe for you or for Jay, it doesn't. But for me, when I'm watching, I'm like, it just feels like a scrimmage. Like when I'm watching, there's certain games when I'm watching New Orleans in Tampa, that just felt like a scrimmage to me.
Well, it's the same way.
Dallas game last night, just felt like a scrimmage.
Well, with the piped in noise with the Rams, though, that was a little bit ridiculous.
But you pipe in,
I hear you.
But you pipe in noise. We pipe in noise for practices and scrimmages. So for me, it was like I felt like I was in a bubble and it was snow outside and we were going on the road to play somebody in a hostile environment. So therefore, we crank up the noise.
It was different. Yeah. All I would say is, you're seeing this in the NBA too. It's harder because you have to take that next step psychologically to manufacture your own energy.
No question.
To do that and every down, like that's challenging because you can feed off fans very easily.
And and what you do is I'm now focusing on my opponent. Whatever I'm thinking in my mind about you, Zubin, that's what I'm gonna do. Whatever it is.
That sweater vest, that sweater you're wearing, focusing in on it.
Whatever I decide to manufacture in my mind. It could be something that's just so far off base to get me to want to just do something bad to
the sweater, the size 13 shoe.
Yeah, the sweater's the cop out.
You have like a size 13 shoe, man. You got massive feet. That was surprising.
This dude alone.
What? He has big feet. I got a size 12.
Well,
and he's taller than you.
No, he's not. No, whoa, you are not going to embarrass me on national radio. How tall are you, Zubin?
5'11".
Okay,
and
he's
5'11", and
I'm
you
6'2".
6 feet. So that's the same.
Hey, man, little guys get it done. You saw Kyler Murray the other day. He's cute, right?
Yeah, that run was cute.
Mighty Mouse.
Big win for them yesterday against San Francisco. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. All of our guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, including Mike Greenberg, who's coming up in 11 minutes.
Jeez.
Actually, it's 11.5, but 13 actually sounds better because of, you know, the deal with the shoe size. Anyway.
There you go. Loosen up, Z.
Okay, Zubin. Fight back, baby.
Go to the edge of the cliff. Just don't jump.
Speaking of going to the edge of the cliff, I was watching the games last night. One thing I was really surprised